Hello, good evening and welcome to Prime Business. Coming up this evening, energy strategist Dr. Yusuf Sulemana warns of a possible crippling of Ghana's extractive sector if there's no proper consultation done.
The ability for our miners to be able to export, if we obstruct the ability for them to be able to bring.
Also, some Eurobond holders go after insurance firms linked to payment of the financial instrument after the government missed the grace period for settling coupons and principals. And the bond market declined by about 52.50% in market turnover in February, the month that saw the completion of the domestic debt exchange program. I am Beverly Broohm. We have details of these and more coming up shortly. Please stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. We begin with the extractive sector as energy strategist Dr. Yusuf Sulemana has warned of a possible crippling of Ghana's extractive sector. Now, according to him, lack of proper consultation may lead to the fall in the export of gold to generate revenue. Interacting with Joy Business's James Eshen, he also cautioned against rushing to force unitization in the upstream petroleum sector.
Ordinarily, unitization should have been an excellent idea, especially if it is mutually agreed, between the parties that are involved. And the reason why, in principle, why unitization could be good, when blocks are sometimes operated segregated, when they are operated independent of each other and they actually communicate, what they call a straddle. If they communicate and the one party is drilling here and another party is drilling here, you cannot optimize the production within that enclave or that reservoir. So in that context, unitization is very important. It's good. However, it has to be voluntary and it has to be a mutual agreement between the two parties, because before two parties unitize, they have to share data, and a credible data shared will add to the ability for them to be able to maximize whatever they can churn out from the ground. They should make sure that every single chain of it is devoid of mistakes and faults. And I'm worried about even the oil side. Bust. We've seen that government-run institutions have not been run efficiently. So another way the policy can succeed is a phenomenal efficiency from the downstream side. Let's say the players like Bust and then MPA, for instance. If they are very efficient, the oil side is okay. But my main problem is always the gold side. Let's not champion a policy that will have negative impact on these two sectors. So yes, I still stand that we should champion sustainable measures, and the sustainable measure is to look for ways of sourcing this product locally. And we have refinery store is there. We have a local refinery, a private refinery coming on stream. These are ways that I think we can minimize the pressure on the city, and that is more credible and more sustainable than the current policy that we have. Yeah.
Now, a quick one, based on what you're saying. So it means, do we see the gold for oil deal crippling the gold or the extractive sector?
The potential is there, and this is how it's going to look like. If you look at the quantum that we need, it means we're going to be able to churn out about 200 ounces of gold, 200,000 ounces of gold. And that will mean that if we want to do 100% gold for oil without any importation, from any other pen, there's not going to be any export of small-scale mining. That's what it's going to be. And we may even have to add some amount from the multinationals, a small bit of it. And so in that case, exporting gold is a whole business by itself in Ghana. And it's also a potential conduit that we can get, hard currency entering that could beef up. So the potential is there, and the potential is that if we obstruct the ability for our miners to be able to export, if we obstruct the ability for them to be able to bring out the gold, and where will the obstruction come? The obstruction where I'm seeing it, potential where I think it can come is if you don't do the required investment. But bear in mind, they had people who invested into the small-scale mining, and once they bring it out, they take their share. Government over the years hasn't taken interest in the small-scale mining. So if government doesn't do the required investment to be able to continuously churn out the required ounces of gold we need, then the policy is going to suffer. And that could even also distract the smooth operations of the small-scale mining. But if government want to come up, to invest, take a different turn, invest into the small-scale mining, give them capital to channel the gold for them, then that could be an avenue. But I think the potential for them to distract their smooth operation is there, and the higher time we tread cautiously, the better.
Now, some of Ghana's Eurobond holders are going after the firms that ensured the payment of the government instruments. This is after the Finance Ministry missed out on the grace period for making the necessary coupon payments. George Riafe has the rest of the story.
Anytime government raises funds on the international market, these monies are insured so that in case of a default, they can fall on the insurance, or the companies that insure these investments will step in and deal with the necessary payments. Well, it appears that is what is happening now. The Bloomberg News is, for instance, reporting that the panel of investors and banks have ruled that Ghana missing out on the coupon payments of these foreign-denominated bonds counts as what they describe as failure to pay event. This should pave the way for a payout of the default insurance contract tied to the country's debt. These banks and investors that are working under what they describe as the Creditors' Derivative Determination Committee made the decision at the meeting last month. The ruling, according to Bloomberg, triggers the payout of the insurance protection on Ghana's sovereign debt. The core default swaps covers over $100 million. Sources say the companies are taking these actions because there has been calls on them by the investors that bought into Ghana's Eurobonds. It is not clear for now how Ghana's recent decision to freeze interest payment to these creditors and also engage the Eurobond Creditors Committee over its debt exchange program didn't influence this action. In Ghana, the Finance Ministry has announced that it should pay coupons on bonds that didn't participate in the debt exchange program by the 13th of this month, 2023.
Meanwhile, the bond market declined by 52.50% in market turnover in the month of February. That's according to the Ghana Stock Exchange's summary of February 2023 market activities. Here's more.
The month of February was the period in which the government completed the domestic debt exchange program. The volume traded on the bond market was estimated at 9.17 billion cedis. This represented a decline of 9.48% compared to the total volume traded in the month of January. The year-to-date volume traded of 19.19 billion was 46% less than the 35.96 billion traded in the same period last year. Meanwhile, the equity or stock market performed better in February this year compared to January. According to the exchange, the GSE Composite Index performed better in February to recover some of the losses recorded earlier in the year. The top price gainers for the month were Unilever, Total, MTN Ghana, and BOPP.
We turn to the Volta region now, as residents in the region have lauded the social and economic impact of hosting the National Parade of the 66th Independence Day celebration. Business operators indicate they have recorded good sales trading in the environs of the Regional Youth Resource Center in Adaklu in the Volta region, which hosted the celebration. And in Ho, they appreciated the government's decision to rotate the National Independence Anniversary celebration. Here's more in the following report.
The 66th Independent Anniversary Parade, which was hosted here at the Volta Regional Youth Resource Center in Adaklu, has just come to an end. However, residents are still here at the premises celebrating their anniversary. We will be speaking to some of them on the economic impact and the social impact of hosting the anniversary here in the Volta Regional capital, that is Ho and Adaklu.
Already starting to us. We are really celebrating. But you can all see what is happening here. It's been a successful event. At least it has brought to us a kind of development. When you look at the edifice, it's so beautiful. And personally, I'm so happy because at the end of the day, I'm able to establish something beside the event ground, and it's actually making an impact. I mean, it's giving us some little money. So with that alone, I'll say thank you to Nana Akufo-Addo for bringing this great thing to us here.
So we are very, very happy that this year's 16th anniversary came to us, and we are so happy. And it has brought us a whole lot of sales. For some time we have not been making sales, but this made us so many people. You can see around so many people are here. We are here to sell. Some are here to have fun. So you can see everybody is happy over here.
It's also going to help our tourist sites in the region, because I know the Regional Coordination Council is have put plans in place to actually market the tourist sites in the region. And for us individuals who are into businesses, that also brought a lot of engagement. We shared contacts, which is going to bring future businesses. We are making some cash on the plan as well.
It's a great opportunity because a lot of sellers make a lot of sales today. As you can see this way, after the organization, people are here buying drinks and all of those things. So it's a good initiative.
Would you want the event to be held here next year?
Over and over and over again. I would want that.
The president bringing this anniversary here has been very successful. And it had a great to the region. We are very happy.
Now, Group Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director for the Ghana Oil Company, that's GOIL, Kwame Osei-Prempeh, is asking Ghanaians to support locally owned businesses to thrive. This, he believes, is key to ensuring economic growth. Now, speaking to Joy Business at the Independence Day Walk with GOIL event, he also entreated locally owned Ghanaian businesses to work collectively with various stakeholders within the Ghanaian economy to expand their operations.
At the event, Kwame Prempeh promised to champion the introduction of quality fuel. He called for a more collective effort to support indigenous companies.
Our message to Ghanaians is that there is hope for this country. GOIL was once run by foreigners, Ajib. It was a small company. Ghanaians took over, and because of the confidence that we have in ourselves, we are beating all the multinationals in this country. The Total, Vivo, Engine, whichever, we are beating all of them. Because we are Ghanaians and we have confidence in ourselves and we believe that our country deserves the best. So we are telling Ghanaians that on this Independence Day, let's do a reflection. Let's love our country more. Let's sacrifice for our country. Let's work hard. And with hard work and integrity, Ghana will become like GOIL.
Retired Ghanaian professional boxer Professor Azuma Nelson underscored the need for various corporate institutions to embark on such initiatives.
You know, exercise is medicine. So if you are exercising, if you are exercising, the doctors can rest. You know, and if you are exercising, you can keep your money. You know, because if you are sick, you have to take some money to the hospital. You know, if you are sick, when you go to the hospital, sometimes the people are so many that the doctor cannot get a good time for you to check you out. So just go ahead and do the exercise and keep your body shape, you know, and keep yourself fit and keep your money in your pocket and let the doctors rest.
GOIL said it will continue to contribute its quota to the development of the country.
Now, Suno Assurance's PLC has said that it is determined to grow the business consistently over the next 5 years to become one of Ghana's most sought-after underwriting companies across the country and beyond. This, according to the Managing Director, Prince Adeyemi Adetuwo, can be done through a collective effort with its agents. Speaking to Joy Business, he underscored the need to improve the state of insurance in the country.
The Managing Director for Suno Assurance Ghana, Prince Adeyemi Adetuwo, at the event called on Ghanaians to cultivate a culture of insuring their property. He went further to express the uniqueness of the new channels and service offerings and acknowledge the hard work his team put into the development and successful execution.
Suno Assurance Ghana, we are one of the leading insurance companies in Ghana, and we didn't feel that to be at least rewarding our agents, our sales rep, because they are one of the reasons behind our tremendous growth in the last 15 years or so. I believe, because of their loyalty to the company, so we are very consistent in the last 12 years or so, rewarding their trust, their hard work, their belief in the company, their loyalty. Because as at last year, they were contributing about 35% in our premium income last year. So that's why we believe that we need to reward them for their loyalty, because we need to reward them for their loyalty to the company. So, as I said, they are a force to reckon with. They are reason for our growth, and we believe that if they are treated well, at least they will give their best to the company, so that will be fit to be rewarding every year. And every year, it's taking a new dimension.
Board chairman of the company, Pa Kwesi Yankee, commended the efforts of the agents. He also called for more work to ensure an increase in insurance penetration in the country.
The insurance industry has become very competitive, and as a result, it's become rough. But in all this, I've asked my people who are the Suno team to always keep their head above water, play within the rules, and at the end of the day, they'll be rewarded for whatever it is that we shall always be ahead of everybody else.
Overall winner at the event, Mercy Otabel, expressed her gratitude to her colleagues and the company.
It has not been easy. I think for 2020, 2021 and 2022, it's not easy. To be an insurance agent, you have to make sure that you serve your clients very well. You make sure you give them a good product. So what I can say is that if you want to win, if you want to be like how I've been now, you need to be hardworking.
Suno Assurance aim is to deliver insurance to the doorstep of Ghanaians from all walks of life at their convenience.
We go to the Ashanti region now, as the Kumasi Technical University says it is exploring ways to open up to industry through collaboration to commercialize innovations that have been sitting on the shelves for some time now. The Technical University has made some innovations in the area of agricultural equipment and processed food.
The Technical University Act spells out the mandate of the universities to provide higher education in engineering, science, and technology-based disciplines. It also mandates the universities to undertake vocational and technical research and propagate applicable knowledge. Vice-Chancellor, Engineer Professor Osewusu Echang, explains that though the university has made efforts towards realization of its mandate, it will take support from industry to commercialize them.
For our staff, our mandate is unambiguous. We are to train students to acquire skills. We are to collaborate with industry to do research. That is what we tell them. Let's continue, seek out industry. Okay, go out there, look for industry. Look at the problems industry are facing, problems society is facing generally. Look for the resources, look for the collaboration, the partnership that can enable us to solve these problems so that society can benefit from our assistance.
To increase research and innovation, the university intends to increase its postgraduate programs to more students. Professor Wusu Echang is calling on government to improve infrastructure for the purpose.
We want them to support that so that we can build the kind of infrastructure that can support the work we do, that can support the research work we do, that can enable us train more students and bring in more students who can support the work we do. We want to introduce more graduate programs, for instance, because you see, research is mostly done by graduate students, okay? And unless you have graduate programs, you can't get graduate students coming. So these are the areas we want policymakers, government to support us.
The event was to launch this year's edition of the Kumasi Technical University's Research and Innovation Week. The celebration was held under the theme Sustainable Development and Emerging Disruption, the Role of Research and Innovations. It is expected to showcase the school's research to industry. Dr. Smart Sapon is director of the Institute of Research, Innovation and Development at Kumasi Technical University.
We want to take time, come March 20th to 24th, to showcase what we have done to the world. So it is more like a university open day, but we are doing it week long. And we take advantage of that to also bring on board our industry partners to also come and exhibit with us some of the innovative things that they do there. Where the essence of that is to help them fine-tune whatever they've done with the science behind the technology or the innovative activities that they may be doing over there. So,
for Joy News, Nanaya Ojima, Kumasi.
And that's how we end Prime Business. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com/business. I am Beverly Broohm, and I leave you with international news as well as the commodities update.